Good morning, students. This is class 10 science, lesson 6, life processes. Students, in our last class, we have studied nutrition in amoeba. Today, we will study nutrition in human beings. Nutrition in human beings. As you all know that human beings are omnivorous with holozoic mode of nutrition. We are omnivores with holozoic mode of nutrition. We have a digestive system consisting of an alimentary canal and some glands associated to it. Alimentary canal and its associative glands. And what are these associative glands? These glands are salivary glands, liver, pancreas. Alimentary canal or gut is a long tubular pathway through which food passes during its digestion and absorption. It is about 8 to 9 meters in length. And on the screen, you can see the alimentary canal. See, this is the alimentary canal. It starts from the mouth and ends at the anus. Here ingestion takes place and here egestion takes place. And the associative organs and associative glands are over here. Alimentary canal begins at the mouth, as I have told you, and ends at anus for egestion. In between the two are buccal cavity, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, and large intestine. So we'll study about each and every organ one by one. Mouth. You know, mouth is a transverse aperture for intake of food. This is a transverse aperture for intake of food. It is bounded by two movable sensible lips. Then comes buccal or oral cavity, in which we have our teeth and tongue. You all know teeth helps in mastication of food. They help in biting or chewing the food. Then tongue, what is the function of tongue? You all know tongue has taste buds, or tongue helps in moving food and cleaning teeth. Okay, so we have studied about all this in the junior classes. We'll study about the main organs, that is another, besides tongue and teeth, we have salivary glands. Salivary glands in our mouth. 3 pairs of glands pour saliva in the buccal cavity. We have 3 pair of salivary glands in our mouth. They are parotid, that is below ears, submaxillary, that means at the angles of lower jaw, and sublingual, below tongue. Below tongue. Saliva is mainly made of mucus and water for lubrication. What is saliva made up of? Mainly mucus and water for lubrication. Then this, we can, the secretion of salivary glands are also known as salivary amylase, which contain an enzyme known as ptyalin, P-T-Y-A-L-I-N. Ptyalin partially digests starch into maltose, or in easy language, salivary amylase digests starch into maltose, making the food sweet if kept in mouth for longer time. You take any kind of food, you take some uncooked rice or uncooked wheat or any uncooked food item, put in your mouth, chew it for a long time. It will taste sweet. Why? Because the enzyme ptyalin, the enzyme salivary amylase, is digesting starch into maltose, and maltose makes the food taste sweet. Food is moistened by saliva, crushed by teeth, and partially digested by ptyalin. It is moistened by saliva, crushed by teeth, and partially digested by ptyalin. You all must be aware of that your parents ask you to chew your food properly. And when we are small, all the parents teach the children to take small bites, to chew it properly, small bites and chew it properly, because the food has to be softened. The softened food is rolled into a small ball or bolus, and passed through pharynx, which is a common passage of respiratory and digestive tracts, into esophagus. This act is known as swallowing. This act is known as swallowing. See, I'll show you. See, mouth, from mouth the food comes in the esophagus. In esophagus, no digestion takes place. Esophagus is a muscular tube that connects buccal cavity with stomach. This esophagus, it is a muscular tube which is connecting buccal cavity with stomach. Its muscles undergo rhythmic contraction and relaxation to push the food forward. See, you can see this is bolus or food. Then this is area of contraction. See the area of contraction, area of relaxation, area of contraction, area of relaxation, then again area of contraction. The food moves in this way in the esophagus. It is also known as peristaltic movement. What is it known? Peristaltic movement. Rhythmic contraction and relaxation helps the food to push forward. This phenomena is known as peristalsis. It occurs throughout the digestive tract. Now, food from the esophagus enters into stomach. In the diagram also you can see food from the esophagus enters into a J-shaped muscular bag called stomach. Okay, I've told you the mouth has teeth and tongue. Salivary glands are also present in the mouth. Tongue has gustatory receptors which perceive the sense of taste, means all the taste buds are present on the tongue. The tongue helps in turning over the food so that saliva can be properly mixed in it. Teeth help in breaking down the food into smaller particles so that swallowing of food becomes easier. There are 4 types of teeth in human beings. The incisors teeth are used for cutting the food, canine for tearing the food and cracking hard substances, premolars are used for the coarse grinding, molars are used for the grinding of food. Then food is mixed with saliva. Salivary glands secrete saliva. Saliva makes the food slippery, which makes it easy to swallow the food. Saliva contain the enzyme salivary amylase or ptyalin. Salivary amylase digests starch and converts it into sucrose, that is maltose. Mouth, intake of whole food, then teeth, chewing, grinding of food, tongue, rolling of food, plus tasting of food, salivary glands, swallowing, pushing down of food, secrete saliva plus mucus, then this starch, that is starch food. Food containing starch is broken down into maltose with the help of salivary amylase. Then esophagus taking food from mouth to stomach by peristaltic movement. What is peristaltic movement? I have told you, rhythmic contraction of muscles of the lining of the alimentary canal to push the food forward is known as peristaltic movement. See, area of contraction, area of relaxation, bolus, food bolus. This is the esophagus. Now, from the esophagus, food enters the stomach. Where does the food go? Food enters the stomach. Stomach is a J-shaped, widest part of alimentary canal. Stomach is a bag-like organ. Highly muscular walls of stomach help in churning the food. It is a J-shaped, widest part of alimentary canal which secretes a digestive juice called gastric juice. What does stomach secretes? It secretes a digestive juice called gastric juice. Now this gastric juice contains HCl, mucus and an enzyme pepsin. What does this gastric juice has? What does it contain? It contains HCl, mucus and enzyme pepsin. Now, one by one, we'll study the function of all 3. What is the function of HCl? HCl kills the germs which come along with the food. It helps in killing, or we can say disinfecting the food, and makes it acidic for the action of enzyme pepsin. HCl has 2 functions. First, to kill the germs which come along with the food, and the second, to make the medium acidic, because pepsin, enzyme pepsin acts only in acidic medium. And what is the function of enzyme pepsin? Pepsin take parts in the digestion of protein. Pepsin helps in the digestion of protein. So this was the function of HCl. Again, I am repeating. HCl makes the medium acidic because enzyme pepsin acts only in acidic medium. And the second, it kills the germs or disinfects the food which come along with the food. Then what is the function of mucus? Mucus lines the inner walls of the stomach and prevents the walls of the stomach from being corroded, because if a large number of HCl is secreted, then the walls of the stomach might get corroded. So this layer of mucus prevents the wall of the stomach. And the third function, pepsin, the function of pepsin is it helps in the digestion of protein. Stomach performs churning movements which mixes food with gastric juices and breaks it into smaller particles. This semi-digested food, also known as chyme, semi-digested food is also known as chyme, passes into the distal end of the stomach known as pylorus. In some persons, excessive secretion of HCl causes a burning, a sensation of acidity caused by the corrosive effect of HCl over the wall of stomach. So mucus prevents this effect of corrosion. Okay, mucus prevents this effect of corrosion. Now we'll study all this. Stomach is a bag-like organ. Highly muscular walls of the stomach helps in churning the food. Walls of the stomach secrete hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid kills the germs which may be present in the food. Moreover, it makes the medium inside the stomach acidic. Acidic medium is necessary for gastric enzyme pepsin to work, and the enzyme pepsin secreted in the stomach does partial digestion of protein. See, here in the diagram also you can see bolus coming inside the stomach. This is stomach. The food is moving by peristaltic movement and entering the stomach.